You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Zinget Solutions, Imaging Services, Posture Screen, Universal Tractioning Systems, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Fax Max, Chiro Thin, Rhino Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, and Go Get Talks. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 110 of Chiro Hustle. I am Luke. Here's Jim.
So today we have the opportunity of interviewing the authority, Tim Young. And if you want to get more understanding of the focus of where chiropractic is going, stay tuned. So, Dr. Tim, tell us your chiropractic story and what influenced you to become a chiropractor.
I'm originally from Springfield, Missouri, and that's where I grew up. From in that area, and further down, kind of what I say down in the hills. And when I was about I guess in fifth grade, my uncle was a chiropractor in Springfield, and when we moved to Springfield, I started seeing him, Uncle Bill. You just go, you go get your back popped. That's all I knew. And, so through the years, I went to him for wrestling and football all through high school. And he was a big influence, but, like I would hurt myself in a wrestling tournament and he'd go put me back together. And then out of high school, I was a competitive bodybuilder. And I started going to, just to keep me moving, basically. Well, when I was 18 years old, I was in a severe car accident and I broke my back, lower back. I broke a bunch of ribs. I was injured, pretty severely. And the orthopedic surgeons and the doctors and all of them, they did the MRIs and all the stuff. And this is 1985. And they came to me and they said, look, you've got a severe fracture down here. Your bodybuilding days, your weightlifting days are over. And more than likely, from what we can tell, you'll probably have a slight limp for the rest of your life because this just isn't going to respond properly. So here I am, 18 years old, just getting the ball rolling, in my life. And thinking that, well, I'm done, And so what do? I go see Uncle Bill. And he talks to me for a minute and he has some choice words. Down in the country, they use terminologies a little different what we're used to. It was basically in the form of, hog blank. And he said, lay down. And he started adjusting me. 6 weeks later, I was back in the gym. 6 months later, I won Teenage Mr. Missouri. And I competed for hell until I was 34 years old, all the way up to a national level. That was really, what's interesting was that was a huge event in my life, even bigger than I even knew. And he constantly was throwing seeds at me, to carry on his practice, come helping him, and it was always in the back of my mind, but, like any other 18, 19-year-old, I'm going to go save the world. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. I wanted to do this. I wanted to do that. So it was an interesting story. I'm making a very long story short, but, through, the training and all this different stuff, and I joined the Navy, well, I started having a lot of, I wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and I started having a lot of lower back pain. And the Navy they run all their tests, and they said, we know that you've got a problem down there. We don't know what it is. So we're going to do exploratory back surgery. And I said, and it was 1988. I'm standing in the office in Great Lake, Chicago, and the lady's telling me this, and I said, no, ma'am, you're not. You're not going to do exploratory back surgery on me. And she looked at me kind of confused, and she said, well, there's only one thing we can do. We're just going to have to send you home. And I've told this story a million times, and as I'm telling you guys on this right now, I feel it. God laid his hand on my shoulder and said, you're going to be a chiropractor. Right then I knew. And it was a comfort, it was a warmth, and I smiled at her and said, send me home. So, 12 weeks of med hold in the Navy, and then I moved back to Springfield. I built chain link fence through the summer, and then I started my undergrad, and I never stopped until I got my chiropractic degree. It was interesting. So because of chiropractic, I had a story. I knew what it did for me innately, but I've had lower back pain since then. Now, not debilitating, but there are times it gets me down, but I've always had back pain. I never, ever forget what it means to have pain. So when a patient comes to see me, I take it serious. I have empathy and I have sympathy. I understand more than most, but I also understand what got me to where I'm at. So I have a little bit more understanding of chiropractic. So that was a long story short. That was my direction and journey into this profession.
That's a pretty unique story. So now in present day, what are some other things that make you unique in the chiropractic space?
Well, it's an interesting question, and without sounding arrogant, I really don't mean I'm really as humble as they come when it comes to me. I have a lot of fun, but I'm just a servant. But I will tell you, in this profession, I've been in practice now going on 25 years. I've been going to chiropractor almost my whole life, but I've been in this profession and I've seen a lot of people. I mean, I run a really, really high volume practice. Not only that, I've traveled all over the world teaching technique, teaching philosophy, lecturing, spending time with students, spending time with chiropractors. What I believe makes me unique, honestly, I have a very, very deep personal relationship with chiropractic. I have a knowing more than I think most do. I see it in a different way than most do. Even a lot of our chiropractic leaders that I love deeply, they've had good practices, they believe in chiropractic, they see the results, but there's another level to this. One of my teachers and mentors, Dr. Richard Yenny, who passed several years ago, he practiced 62 years out of Kansas City. He had this, and I understand where he comes from. What makes me unique is I don't believe in chiropractic. I know chiropractic. My other teacher, Dr. Hugo Gibson, you guys know Dr. Gibson, same thing. He has an understanding about this profession. He has an understanding about the entity of the profession and its origins and its source. We talk about source a lot. It's kind of hard to articulate, but that's what makes me unique, is because when I speak and when I speak about chiropractic, it comes from a different place than most. When I deliver a chiropractic adjustment, it comes from a different place than most know. When I speak to a patient, when I articulate a care plan or what I believe is what's best for them, it comes from a place of knowing. It's nothing that I rehearsed. It's nothing that I researched. It's not a script. It is a deep, soul-felt knowing. And I know that sounds weird, but I really believe that separates me from the rest of the profession. And I know there's others that possibly are there. I don't know very many. That's the best way I can describe that. And I hope that came across appropriately.
Well, I think you didn't want to come across as Mr. Know-It-All or I'm unique and this is why I'm awesome. I think the story is there. As I've gotten to know Luke, we've been working together for the past 8 years. We were driving back from some event out in Denver, and I was like, hey, if there's one thing that I could do about myself to change, my future, what would it be? He's like, quit telling people how awesome you are and let everybody tell you how awesome you are. And after I stopped doing that, Tim, things started to click at a different rate for me because I felt like I didn't have to get people's approval anymore. I felt like people were already giving me approval. And just because I'm allowed to be where I go and do what I do, that's enough approval for me. And now the things that are happening are just amazing.
Well, it goes back to you'll say, and your action speaks so loud, I can't hear what you say. And I've never been really asked that, Jim, what makes me, no one's ever asked me that. I got asked last year. I was teaching a course out in Brett Jones's office out in California. And a young doctor said, is there another office, is there another practice in the whole world that you would trade places with? I've never been asked that. And I said, let me get back to you tomorrow on this, because I didn't want to just answer. I really wanted to dig in. I came back and I said, absolutely not. There's not another practice on this planet that I would trade places with. I have yet to meet anyone or know of anyone that does what I do the way I do it. But that's okay, because I created it. I created this because of my understanding, and it's not arrogance. It's not arrogant at all. It just is. It just simply is. So I get asked, the number one question I get asked, Jim, you guys, more than any other question, where do you get your certainty? How are you so certain about chiropractic? How can you stand on stage in front of 3,000 people I've walked on Cal Gym stage with over 3,000 people and had absolutely no clue what I was going to say. It just came. And if you was to stand on stage or if you was to talk about your children, would you be nervous and have a problem with knowing what to say? Absolutely not, because it is a part of who you are. Chiropractic is the very fiber and essence of who I am. It just is, and I can't articulate it any other way. With it, and not trying to sound arrogant or boastful or not. It just is. It just is. That's the best way I can describe it, Jim.
And then the next thing that you've done, I think that makes you ultimately unique, is you started Focus Foundations and helping people use your systems to develop into better practices. And then you've created Oklahoma Focus, which is an annual event that you have out in Oklahoma City. First, let's talk about the foundations, and then we'll talk a little bit about the event.
Okay, well, yeah, so Foundations was kind of born out of, I've been a member of other coaching groups, and I've learned and I've learned different systems, and I've spent time with some of the biggest guys in the country, Joe Borio and Chris Zano, and these guys, Rob Schiffman, Billy DeMoss, Patrick Jatimpo. I mean, I can name drop all day long. These are all friends of mine. These are teachers and mentors of mine, and I've learned from all of these guys. And you take all this stuff. And through the years, you accumulate, but then for whatever reason, I've been given a gift of removing bullshit. And sorry about that, but it just is. And getting to the point of what's important. And so what I did was, I had so many doctors come to me. I want to know what you do. I want to know what you do. So instead of telling them about it, which anybody can say, well, this is what I do, or this is what I used to do, and everybody goes, that's great, but how does that help me? What I did was I sat down about a year and a half ago, and I created a 10 foundation system, and I broke it down into these 10 foundations, because I look at it this way. People want to build this huge practice, a successful practice, but the problem is they start building the roof before they even put stem walls up, and there's nothing to hold it up. We got to start with the foundation. You got to start with the base. No one's doing that. People are trying to read a script on a report of findings, or they're trying to learn a new technique, or they're trying to learn a new marketing gimmick, and their practices aren't going to sustain that. So I built this program, and I built it off of what I built for me. This is the most important thing. Look at these videos. This is what I think and do. So I put everything I think, say, and do in video format, starting at Foundation 1, which is all the philosophies, all the way through front desk. And what's powerful about this thing, it is you can actually walk into my world. You can see me in the office. You can hear me give a live report of findings with a patient. You can hear me communicate. A patient will ask me a question. How do I answer? All of my adjusting take. Everything that I do is in video format, and doctors are able to go to the computer and watch and then actually go apply. Now the question is, so who are you? Someone could do that sees 20 patients a week and collect, $10,000 a month, and no one's going to give a damn, So, and I get that. I mean, I wouldn't either. If I'm going to listen to somebody, I'm not going to take financial advice from somebody begging on the street. I'm not going to take health advice from somebody who's 400 pounds overweight smoking. We don't do that. And it makes absolutely no damn sense. But in my practice, I've seen 150 to 250 people every single day. For over 15 years, I've collected over $1 million for 15 years with a 20% overhead. That's the key. No one else does it. And the last 10 years, I've only worked 16 hours a week. Now I'm only working 2.5 days a week. And I'm still seeing almost 400 to 500 people in 2.5 days. So the thing is, you'll talk to a lot of doctors who see thousands of people a week. Ask them, what's your overhead? And then they get that deer in the headlight look. Or what's your average collection per visit? Deer in the headlight. Don't ask me those questions. I'm trying to impress you with how many people I see. Well, shit, if I gave it away, I'd see 1,000 people too. So what I've done is I've built a very strong, easy to follow system that is pure chiropractic, that is very profitable with low overhead. There's just no BS with it. It's what confuses to most people is it's so simple. They're like, that's all you do. Yes, I tell them the truth and I deliver on the truth. It's not any more complicated than that. So that program, and I was telling you guys, off earlier, in a little over a year, we've grown to over 200 offices in 12 different countries. It has exploded, and I've not even marketed the thing. I've never even tried to really market it. You'll see some posts on Facebook. I share, testimonies from our members. Hell, I haven't had time, man. I haven't had time to market. I'm trying to keep up with it. it works. So I'm real proud of it. And it goes back to the deep understanding of chiropractic that I have. I understand it on a different level. And if I don't share, if I don't teach, if I don't show this, then shame on me, man. It's bigger than me, and it shouldn't be a secret. It should be shared. That's why I do what I do. If that makes sense.
Well, it makes a lot of sense.
So tell us, what are some of your favorite mantras or motivational quotes?
Oh, I got so many of them. But, I will tell you this. The one that, and this year at Focus OKC, our 10-year, this is the theme of the weekend. And I've got this actually written down right here in front of me. And I told my group every morning we have a Facebook page just for our members. And and Mondays and Wednesdays, I do a good morning wake up video. Gang, I need to start thinking about something. And here's my mantra, you guys. If not me, who? Who the hell is going to do this? Who's going to step up and speak the truth? Who's going to stand up for the chiropractic profession? Who is going to stand up for the principles? Who's going to stand up for subluxation? Who's going to stand up for our philosophy? I mean, if it's not me, if I don't step up and step into it, who? Because that's exactly what happens. Everybody sits and waits for somebody else to do it, and then when it doesn't happen, then it's like, oh, I wish someone would have. And, if more people take on that, that type of attitude, we would shift as a profession. But it's always been that way. Hell, BJ had the whole damn profession riding on his shoulders, and everybody trying to knock him down by himself. So here we are. So that's my favorite. That's probably my favorite. And then my other favorite, and I say this all the time, and this is kind of what I live by. If you want to avoid criticism, and this is for everybody listening to this, if you want to avoid criticism, say nothing, just say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. I get criticized all the damn time, and I don't care. I actually accept it and enjoy it. Bring it. That's
Well, that's just the thing is I think that we should all challenge each other, and we shouldn't take it to a level of sensitivity. We should take it to a level of improvement. And, as I've gotten to know you as the Tim Young, not the chiropractor, I've seen you a couple times speak. When was the time how many years ago was it when you spoke at Cal Jam and you talked about God created a chiropractor?
Oh gosh, how many years ago was it? I did that whole video. I created that whole video. Yeah, God, that was 6 years ago.
Well, that was my first time. That was my first time seeing you, and I was up in the balcony, the top of the balcony that you can be in at that stadium there that Billy puts it on at.
Yeah.
And I was up there in the top, and I said, "That guy right there is an authority." And if you went on that stage that day and if you didn't know what you were talking about that day before you got on that stage of 3,000 people, I applaud you.
How many times I will walk on stage and with a completely blank slate, absolutely no clue what I'm going to say, and sometimes a quote will hit me or a thought, just one word or one thought, and then I roll with it. And it comes. And when I do that, it's because it needs to be genuine. I don't want to stand up there, and I know many guys don't. I don't want to stand up there and speak for the sake of speaking. I don't want to just listen to myself talk. I'm not trying to promote me. Hell, Brad Glowacki will tell you, he told my wife that Tim Young is the worst self-promoter on the planet. I mean, I'll go all the way out to Cal Jam and spend the money getting out there at my hotel, all this stuff, speak for 20 minutes, and not one time do I talk about Focus or what I do or my platform. My wife says, "Are you freaking kidding me? You didn't even mention Focus." I forgot all about it. I was talking about chiropractic, And then fortunately, Billy will do it for me. But it's I appreciate you, Jim, because everything I do comes directly from the heart. That's why there's so much behind it. Because if it doesn't, then it's kind of a charade, and I don't like living in charades. It's just not how I roll.
No, it's great, man, and the level of intensity that you have comes across with a certainty, and I think that that's why you don't really need to promote what you do as much as some people have to, because it's the attraction factor, and that's something organic. People always question Luke and I, how did we get to where we are, and I think it's because of the reciprocity. I think it's because of the amount of direction that we've been following. And I think the same could be said for many of the leaders in chiropractic, including yourself. It's because you're so consistent in the mission and the vision, and you're driven. And really what you are to me is similar to like how Bill Belichick is with the whatever they're called, the Patriots. And it's we need a coach that knows how to play the game, knows how to win the game, and regardless, you're going to get the best people on board to be able to run the plays the right way in order to bring out the outcome we're looking for, and that's a victory.
Yeah, and not only that, this is to me, this is what a great coach is to be able to see into someone and bring out the best in them. That's where I think my strength as a coach has come from, because I've taken doctors that were ready to give up. They've been in practice, been in other coaching groups, and they've been in practice for years, and ready to throw in a towel, ready to shut their office down. And now they're buying new homes. And what I did was I saw into them something more than they saw in themselves. And that's what you do, is you bring that out. A great coach takes great people and makes them and allows them to be greater. They don't try to make them like them. I don't want anyone to be like me. We only need one of me. Everybody needs to be the best version of themselves that they could possibly be. And that's what a coach does. That's what a leader does. Is a leader doesn't look for people to pat him on the back. He looks for people to pat on the back. That's what I want to do. When I go to, what's funny is I go to Cal. We use CalJam as a reference all the time because it is the largest gathering of chiropractors in the country right now. And what's funny is I'll walk through the front door, when I'm not speaking, even if I'm speaking, when I'm not, it takes me 30 minutes to get to my seat because I'm stopping and hugging everybody all along the way. I get 200 hugs all the way there. And then I'll go upstairs where the adjusting tables are, and I'll adjust 500 people. I don't care. That's what we do, man. You were there, you know all about it. And it comes from the heart, man. It's just I have a love affair with this thing. It's wonderful.
That's how I first met you. It was at CalJam, and you were giving out adjustments, and Jim grabbed me and was like, "You gotta get adjusted by Tim." I'm like, good Lord, this man's huge.
That's why videos. If you guys see any of the videos I post. Doing a colic maneuver on the babies. Oh my gosh, people lose their minds. Look at that monster; he's going to hurt that baby. For God's sakes, it's pretty funny. But you know what? Hey, we all have to use what we got, whatever.
And honestly, the work that you're doing with those videos and adjusting, babies and showing people how gentle and specific that you are, it's actually helping the profession grow around the world. And the impact that you're making from a small little spot on the map in Oklahoma doing those videos, what it's doing is it's a reverb throughout the world of chiropractic that people are putting their eyes on this. I'm sharing it. We have a pretty deep network, but what's happening is other people are sharing it. And what's happening is that vibrational tone of saying that this is safe and effective for babies. That's a huge thing because there's short-sightedness within the world out there that wants to control chiropractic from not doing what it's supposed to do. And what that's doing is what you're following through with is leadership. Just telling people that, hey, yeah, you guys might say don't do videos on this. I say I'm going to do it regardless if you like it or not.
Well, yeah, and what's crazy is Aryion and I had this conversation, here recently. It's like our own profession is attacking us. Like, look, what it is, it's insecure. It's these insecure chiropractors and these people out there that do not have the certainty in what they do, and they want to tell everybody how great chiropractic is, but they won't want to put their money where their freaking mouth is. Look, those babies that I adjusted, their parents will cry because we freaking set them free. These children are now colic free. There's a baby that came in my office that they were going to do surgery. They were going to pull all the intestines out on this baby, lay it on a table, and make sure they weren't twisted and shove them all back in and sew them up. That was the answer to colic. That was scheduled when one of those babies came in my office. And with one of those techniques, that baby slept all damn night, didn't need the surgery. Now, I could tell everybody that story, and they're, ooh, what a wonderful story. And then somebody's going to say, well, that's just a, what do they call that? A story that really has no merit. It's just a story. It doesn't matter. But when you freaking see it, when you see a crying baby come in, and I can open up that ileocecal valve, and you watch that child fall over and take a deep breath and rest, you saw the results right there. And I think the last video got 76,000 views. I got parents contacting me on Facebook all over the world wanting me to help them find a chiropractor for their baby. And then we've got these morons sending me personal messages, chiropractors sending me personal messages, calling me baby killer, calling me Satan, telling me that I'm sexually assaulting that child. I swear to God, some woman said that it looked like I was dangerously close to the genitalia and that was sexual assault. Have you all lost your damn mind? I mean, and so I guess that is just what it is with it, in any entity that you have passion for. I'll be damned if I'm going to stop. You better come handcuff these things, because I got a freaking phone and I got babies coming. I had 5 babies under 4 months old in this morning. I didn't videotape them. I was too damn busy. But no, we're going to stand up and we're going to spread the truth. We've got a platform. Good God, we got a platform. Let's freaking use it. And the only ones that don't want to are the ones that are either ashamed of what they do, or they know for a fact they ain't doing shit. They're just talking about it. So whatever. I'm not going to quit.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Close for Chiro, Zinget Solutions, Imaging Services, Posture Screen, Universal Tractioning Systems, Dr. Peter Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Bax Max, ChiroThin, Rhino Coaching Systems, Chiro Moguls, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, Local Gold, and Go Get Talks. Let's hustle.
Phew, I better catch my breath on that one. You got me wound up talking about the babies.
Well, it's the truth, man, and we have to address it.
It has to be addressed. Chiropractors are so complacent, and they always have been. Put your head in the sand. Put your head in the sand. And then what happens is, oh, we can't put a video on this because look what happened to Australia. Australia can kiss my ass. The problem with Australia is the chiropractors need to stand up together and do something. I don't care what Australia's doing. They're letting them run that country how they want to. Canada's doing the same thing. Look, do something about it. They tried to do it in my state. They tried to do this crap in my state, and I started my own damn association, and we turned it around. Either do something or get the hell out of the way and let someone that will go do it. I just don't understand why we want to sit around and put our head in the sand and act like nothing's happening. Don't look at us, don't look at us. But then they'll complain and gripe that chiropractic isn't taking its rightful place. Well, hell, why would it? Why would it? When I know for a fact, people in the public believe in chiropractic more than chiropractors do. It is a fact. It is a freaking fact. When they walk in my door, they already expect a miracle. They want to be fixed right now because they believe in chiropractic so much. But chiropractors don't even know what the hell they do, so they want to hide and they want to do research. What the hell? I ask every chiropractor this. You can have all the evidence that you freaking want. Ask one patient. You spend 1 year and talk to 1 million people and ask how many people in the public that's who we need to reach. How many of you read research on chiropractic? Not one. They don't care. They don't care. They don't.
They want results.
They want freaking results. They want you to tell them the truth, and then they want you to deliver on the truth. It's just that damn simple, man. It's just that simple. But you guys are going to get my heart rate up today.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. What's possible in the future with everything you're doing and accomplishing today?
It's interesting. You guys, I spend so much time. I've already been at Palmer this year. I'm not at the school, off campus, so they won't let me on. Cleveland's the only one that lets me on campus. That's where I went to school, and Carl Cleveland's been really gracious. He lets me come on, but I work with students. I'm Parker, Palmer, I'll be at Life West. I'm all over the place, and I spend a lot of time with students. I'm going to be in Barcelona, Spain next month, speaking to the chiropractic school there. I'm working with some doctors there. So I only bring this up because I'm all over the world, and I have a different perspective and pulse on the profession than most. I'm concerned. I am concerned about our profession. I see what the CCE, I see what the WCA, I see what the ACA, I see their agenda. It's very obvious what their agenda is. It's and I don't know, I'm not sure where it's coming from. It's either coming from insurance or medical. I'm not sure, or it is what I call the metapractors. It's the chiropractors who never really practiced. They never really had a practice and they really wanted to be a medical doctor. They couldn't get into medical school, so they got a chiropractic degree. Now they go into either politics or education, whatever it may be. And what they want us to do is do like the DOs did, to move us more in a medical direction. So if they can remove subluxation out of our vernacular, out of our vocabulary, if they can remove that, well then we have nothing as chiropractors. Then all we're doing is breaking up fixations. We're kind of like PTs, so we really can't do anything. So we really need to prescribe to be more accepted. The way they're doing that is if we can remove X-ray. Now, if you don't have an X-ray, you can't see a subluxation, so then it mustn't exist. This is what's happening. And the students are going to school, and like I had a story, right? When I went to chiropractic school, because I had a story. You can't take my story away from me. I seen it. I witnessed it. I experienced it. And I'm going to go be a chiropractor because God called me to do that. And Dr. Edgar Darrow, down at the president of Sherman, we had this conversation recently, and he said, look, these students are coming in without a story. They just think being a chiropractor would be cool. It'd be cool to be a doctor. They don't even know, they've never had an experience. A majority of chiropractic students today have never been adjusted before they go to chiropractic school. They don't even know what it means. I was told by a chiropractic student here recently that their clinician said, you can learn to thrust once you get into practice. You don't need that here. This is what's going on. So, long story, I'm concerned with 10 years from now, but man, we've got things like CalGym. We got things like ChiroFest. We got things like DE. We've got things like Focus. We've got things like Mile High. We've got leaders in this profession that are doing things to bring to light the truth. As long as we have the leaders speaking the truth and the students and the young chiropractors in the profession to come have a place to find it, we're going to be fine. The profession will grow in strength. That's why I said, if not me, who? If not us five, who? We need more. We need more. And there's a lot of doctors out there that have tried to start their own, group like Focus. We talked about Focus. This is our 10th year doing this. We'll have 700-800 people. Half of them will be students from all the schools getting the freaking, because my speakers at Focus, pure chiropractic. I don't want, love you, Billy. He's concerned with saving the planet, and that's wonderful. We need that. Mine is pure principled chiropractic, the story of what we do. And so these students are coming in and they're getting it. And I've been told by students they were quitting school until they went to Focus. My greatest story is I had two CAs, chiropractic assistants, and their boyfriends sit in the back row at Focus 4 years ago. 4 years, and they didn't want to be there. The only reason they were there is because their doctors made them. All four of them are in chiropractic school today. As long as we have the message pure, we're going to be fine in 10 years. But as I sit here right now, this is why I'm doing this. I mean, I was having lunch with my grandson, and he's like, "Papa, where are you going?" I said, "Papa's got to go do a video." And he was upset with me. I'll go as soon as I get done. I'll go find him. But man, this stuff is important. We've got to keep. You guys are important. You two. If you don't provide a platform for chiropractors to actually speak the truth, and hopefully people listen and maybe get this message. If it's not that, if we leave it up to the schools, other than about 3 schools, maybe 4, we're screwed. We're screwed as a profession. And that's kind of where I stand with it.
Well, I'm going to share something really inspiring with you. We're actually developing Chiro Hustle student reps, and we're going to start doing, because they probably won't let us on campus. So what we're going to do is what you do is find a way to integrate the Chiro Hustle podcast into the student bases and start Chiro Hustle student reps that will start a chapter at those schools to where they will get disseminated real chiropractic information on those campuses. And
it's beautiful. You have to do that. There are schools in this country, they call them the chiropractic universities. The only reason they call it university, they went to university so they could get state funding. A lot of people don't know that. And people argue with me. I said, all right, I got to then do this for me. Call that school and ask them, I want to be a student. I'm gonna come to your school and I'm gonna go there, okay? And they're excited. Man, come to our school. Do I have to get vaccinated? Well, yeah. Oh, really? So in order to be a chiropractor, I have to be vaccinated because it's state mandated. They get state funding, so they have to do that. It's all crap. But there are schools in this country that if you say subluxation out loud, you're kicked out of school. If you say innate, if you say universal intelligence, if you say green books, you're kicked out of school. That's the chiropractic today. That is the chiropractic today. And people are listening to this, you're going to say, I don't believe it. I don't care. I spend time with the students. I sit in a room. I was just at a school, and we sat in a brewery, and I bought all the students, like 40 students, and I sat just like this, man. It was, man, I had the time of my life. And we're surrounded, and we're drinking beer, and I'm like, bring it. And they start asking questions. Well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And then they start telling me, well, they're telling us in school this. Well, they tell us in school this. And there were some of the things I didn't even know how to respond. Like, you mean to tell me? They was told, there was an instructor that said, there is not one intelligent chiropractor in this country that takes x-rays to look for subluxations. It doesn't happen. This is a teacher in a freaking school that's saying this to a classroom full of people. So this classroom full of people that don't know any better takes this information, thinks that it's true, goes out into our profession, and then what are they? That's the biggest question in the world. What are you producing? Schools, we have, man, oh, wow. And I know it's fact because I'm doing it. I do it all the time, and I will continue to do it. I told my wife that I was going to quit going to the schools this year. And her and Brooke, you met Brooke, my assistant, just my wife's sister. We were having a meeting. I said, girls, I'm tired, man. I'm gonna shut down the student adjusting courses and all that. They just kind of looked at each other, and started laughing. Like, yeah, okay, we'll see. And the first message, it comes on my phone. Hey, Doc, when are you coming back to life? I get my calendar out. I'll be there in May. I can't say no because it's this important. It's so important, you guys. Yeah, and you guys know that. And so, not to derail what you said, thank God. Get on those campuses, whatever we have to do to try to get a percentage of them to actually start hearing the message. It's beautiful. Thank you for doing that.
Well, I think it's really how we can really push our brand to the next level. And we really want to get more of a market share with people listening to what we do because the influence is from leaders like you. And you're episode 110, by the way. So I want these students to start getting indoctrinated with the content that we've created, but also to get into the motion of sharing the content that we create. And then we teach them how to start doing interviews around their school to other industry leaders that are doing healthy habit style businesses. So we're going to cross-pollinate the college actually and probably do a better PR job than the schools are doing by building a community, but we're going to do it through the channel of a chiropractic student to get them to be able to start featuring real chiropractic conversations and to be able to start bringing that type of information onto the campus and into those pods of people that don't know where to go for good content, don't have the access or where to get good. Really, that's what it boils down to, is most of these people don't know where to go or who to trust for their information. And I feel that that's what Chiro Hustle has done, is we've brought together great information that's chiropractic driven, that is giving people information and resources that they can trust.
Well, absolutely, and it's got to come from a pure place. There's so many alt motives out there. Everybody's got a game, man. Everybody's trying to sell something. Everybody's got, and I'm not against that, man. We're all entrepreneurs. We're all business people, man. I like being successful. I like making money. I think there's nothing wrong with it. God did not create me to be broken poor. I know that for a fact. But He also created me to serve. He created me to serve, and when you have a pure motive behind what you do, and you give for the sake of giving, how Tony Robbins teaches that. When you teach and give for the sake of giving, your abundance is through the roof, and that's what you guys are accomplishing. So it's a beautiful thing to sit back and watch, or be a part of it. Sit back and watch how I'm in the middle of it.
So, tell us some of your favorite marketing strategies that you just can't do without.
Okay, so what's funny about that is that's twofold. I'm gonna answer it in two different ways. As far as my practice goes, I don't have any. I'm old school. I've been doing this for a long time. When I started my practice, we didn't have the internet yet. And my marketing strategy was walk out and shake everybody's hand. Hey, I'm Dr. Young. I'm down the street. If there's anything I could do for you, it'd be an honor. I have a what's called the 1,000 business card rule. I get 1,000 business cards and I hand deliver 1,000 cards, one at a time. You don't give them a stack. That's cheating. One at a time. And when you get done, you get 1,000 more. And when you get done, you get 1,000 more. And you do that until you get over 100 patients a week. And as long as you're providing and service and running your practice appropriately, your referrals will take off. You don't have to do anymore. So marketing, in my practice, we saw in 2.5 days, I saw 25 new patients in 2.5 days. Every one of them was word of mouth referral. Every single one of them. It's just, that's what I do in my practice. So I've been in practice long enough, I don't have to. But now on the coaching side of it, and I'm learning this stuff. I use Facebook. Facebook is, I do the videos. I do a video format. I'll post a video on Facebook. I'll post it on YouTube. So to answer your question from an old guy, probably, and I know I need to do Instagram and all that stuff, but I haven't even gotten there. Facebook is probably my go-to vessel for getting information out.
So let's talk about you personally a little bit. Tell us, what are some of your favorite hobbies? What do you like to read? What do you do in your spare time to unwind?
So hobbies. I was a competitive bodybuilder for years, so that was what I did. And then you hit a certain age, you're like, okay, well, I need to quit doing that. Obviously, honestly, my wife and I, we got such an amazing life. We travel a ton. We both love to snow ski. We just got back from Vail not too long ago. We're getting ready to go on a trip and go. We like to scuba dive. It's just stuff like that. I mean, that's really what we do. We're getting ready. When I get done here, we're going to go get a workout in. We still work out. We play tennis. Just stay active, man. We just have fun with life. We're constantly on the go doing something, experiencing new things. That really. I'm kind of funny. I get up really early in the morning, and people talk about the balance, and I know a lot of these guys, they get up early and they work at the office, and then they come home and they sit at the computer until it's time to go to bed. Man, I'm going to tell you something. That ain't me. I get up early, and if I go to the gym at 5, I'm back here by 6. I sit right here at my computer. I work until about 7. I go to the office. At lunch, I'll either have a lunch meeting or I'll sit and read. Meet my wife. I go back to the office. When I come home, I'm done. I get home about 6:30, and we have dinner together, and we are Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead or something. Man, I shut it down. I'm not going to spend my whole life not enjoying the little things, and just the time with my wife where we can just sit and just be and relax. We take off for the night a lot of times. My wife and I have had date night every single night for 25 years since we met. Every week. We've never missed a week unless one of them's out of the country. We just don't. It's important things. This is important stuff. And so when you find your balance in your life, it's doing things that bring joy and bring value to your life. But that's me personally. I find joy sitting and relaxing and doing nothing and watching something mindless. I know Billy's going to watch this and lose his mind because he hates TV, but this is what I do. I read literally everything. I read everything Dean Koontz, if it's not, something. But then I read, I got a whole library of stuff up there. You can't see it. I don't know if you can see it on the thing, but I've got my green books right behind me. I don't know if you can see. My green books are right there. And then there's all my other books. You can see them all the way down. But I read everything from Grant Cardone to just every practice success or business success. I love business success books. I love reading about successful people in history. I'm constantly trying to put stuff in my brain to stimulate positive thought. And I just don't want to ever be one of those guys that just, well, this is good enough. This is okay. Because it's not. It never is. And I look at myself. I try to get up every day and be a better version of me each day. And that may just be getting up and not doing anything, just be and relaxing and, because I go, and then sometimes I got to shut it down, or it may be, reading something or listening to a podcast or whatever. But that's kind of a very brief, look into my world. It's not real exciting, but I love it. And then my grandkids, I got 3 kids. My oldest daughter's 31. She's married. She's got 2 kids. So those are my grandbabies. Man, there's a lot of my time right there. And if I'm going to do anything, that's where I'm at. And my middle daughter, she's a chiropractor, Dr. Alasha. she's in her 5th week of practice, so it's really exciting to watch her pick up and run with it. And she's got that, what I was talking about. She has that innate chiropractic heart. And then my son, he's 21, and he's an MMA fighter, and we're trying to figure out what he's going to do with his life. But, it's just, life is really, really good. And that's where I come from, is chiropractic has provided me with such an amazing life. I mean, I really sit, sometimes my wife and I will sit, look at each other going, and can you believe just our world? It's hard to describe. And chiropractic has given us that. So it's my opinion, it's my responsibility, it's my duty to give back as much as I possibly can. It's disrespectful that I don't. That's kind of how I look at it.
Well, we are coming up on the tail end of this episode. So before we all part ways, what are some websites or links you can give people if they want to find out more about you and what you're doing?
Absolutely. The easiest one is just FocusOKC.com. Focus, like you focus. OKC stands for Oklahoma City, so FocusOKC.com. And we were talking about this before. The last weekend in July 26th and 27th, is our 10th year of Focus. And it is a 2-day seminar. It is absolutely like no other. Billy will tell you, he told me the last time, it is his favorite chiropractic seminar other than his. Billy DeMoss, Brad Glowacki, Devin Verona, who's all there? Tim O'Shea. If you can think of a top name speaker in chiropractic, they're going to be there this year celebrating 10 years. It's going to be pretty amazing. I'll do an adjusting course the Thursday before. That thing always sells out. That's all on the website. Everything about our coaching group, foundations, it's all in. So if you go to FocusOKC.com, everything is right there. You just jump into the middle of it. And then I get more messages on Facebook than Messenger, and my email is mvnbonz@yahoo.com. So it's moving bones, mvnbonz@yahoo.com. You can email me, but really, quite honestly, Facebook, just send me a message on that because I'm always on it. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
Yeah, you're about to get a lot more messages, I think.
You know what I did one time, and I have no problem. You guys might have seen this. I put a post on Facebook. I gave my cell phone number out. I don't care. Call me, text me. If you have a question, you have a concern, you need some help with something. If not me, who? That's kind of what we do. That's what we should be. And so it's like you guys providing such an amazing platform for me to get my message out there, but really it's not about me. It's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than this, and that's why it's amazing what you guys are doing, because through our voices, if we can reach them, if we can reach just a few, that maybe will then go reach a few, we've done our jobs.
Well, I want to thank you for having us at Focus last year. We had a lot of fun there doing the interviews for you and your group. So much fun. It was just great to be able to cross-pollinate our brands together. So thank you for doing that. It was great sitting next to you and Alasha at Cal Jam during the closing ceremonies there with Billy D up on stage. That was really special for me. And man, everything that you do, it is inspirational for us as the Chiro Hustle podcast media agents. It's really inspiring for us is to hear you just let it rip and let people know that this is the truth and you're going to stand up for that. And everybody else needs to recognize that they should probably start doing that too if they want to see the next 10 years of chiropractic go in the direction that we want it to go.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that, you guys. It means a lot to me that you spent the time with me today. And as and this is what I say it, I saw 102 patients this morning, and I said it 102 times. If there's anything I can do, please let me know. And that's just what I do.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very much for being our guest today. I know we've been waiting to do this one for quite a while, so it's been a lot of fun today.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, okay?
All right, thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Tim.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.